As it fell to the floor, it felt like time slowed for me in that instant. I watched on with terror as my sister's expensive makeup practice doll tumbled towards the floor. Even with my best efforts to leap across and save it, the inevitable explosion of shattered pieces occurred. The crashing sound echoed through the kitchen, and no doubt the entire house. "Biscuits!" I groaned with worry as I shuffled around the floor picking up the pieces. "Ivy's gonna kill me." Trying my best to push the pieces of the doll's face together, I quickly realize it's a lost cause. "Jordan!" Ivy screams from behind me. "Did you do this? I can't believe you sometimes." Almost jumping out of my skin, I stand up and find myself face to face with my older, angry-looking sister. Standing slightly taller than me, I can't bring myself to look up into her eyes. Trying to think of an excuse. "I didn't mean to. I'm sorry." She looks down at the mashed up doll's head, and I see her noticeably shake in anger. "You're such an idiot, Jordan," she shouts with fury. "I've got a makeup look to work on." Quickly glancing at her face, I could see how upset she was. I knew I'd messed up, but I couldn't tell her how I was admiring her work. She'd always told me to leave her stuff alone, but I just love seeing the look she comes up with. "I'm really sorry, Ivy," I sobbed softly. Can I make it up to you somehow?" Swiftly clipping me around my head with the back of her hand, she sighs. "No, you idiot, you can't," she growls. "Unless you've got a spare makeup doll on you." Dejected, I look down at the floor and a small silence falls over us. I start to wonder why she isn't shouting at me more. Curious, I look up at her face and I find her staring at me with a devious grin. "Ivy?" I ask, concerned. "Right," she demands with determination in her voice. "You're going to be my model. I want you upstairs in my room right now." Like a deer in headlights, I freeze on the spot. One part of me is extremely excited, but the other half of me is terrified for what our family might say. "No way!" I cry out. "I can't be your model. I'm a boy." Grabbing hold of my ear with a vice-like grip, she pulls me across the kitchen floor towards the door. "Get upstairs, you twerp," she jibes. "I've got a look to complete for my socials, and you are going to have to help me." As she marches me upstairs, I turn back to look at her, and I can tell she's dead set on me being the makeup model. I'd seen this look on her face before. I knew then that getting out of this was going to be hard. "Ivy," I whine, "I'm a boy. Whatever look you do, it's going to really look weird on me." Answering with just a devious smile, she ushers me into her room and sits me down in front of her mirror. The counter in front of me was covered in all sorts of makeup and brushes. As I watch her prep her brushes, I could feel myself getting more and more worked up. I was starting to feel somewhat excited. I would never tell her this, but I loved watching her do her makeup looks. "Right," Ivy insists, as she points a bright light at my face. "Firstly, what size shoes are you?" I turn to look at her in confusion. She's meant to be using me for a makeup look. Why does she need to know that? I answer, a little lost. Why does that matter? Tapping away on her phone, she looks up at me for a brief moment. "What size are you?" she asks again, impatiently. "I need to know for the outfit you're going to be wearing." "My size?" I pause with embarrassment. Size 5. Looking up from her phone in pure delight, she gives me a wide smile. "That's perfect," she beams. "You will fit into the heels that go with the outfit." "Heels?" I question slowly, trying to hide my excitement from her. "I can't do that." Slamming her phone onto the table in front of me, she looks down at me very frustrated. "Yes, you are," she growls. I've got a whole look planned out, and you are going to wear it." The look in her eyes was almost terrifying. I could only look away and go silent. Still, I wanted her to think I hated the idea of wearing her clothes and having my makeup done. If she knew how secretly eager I was, she'd probably think I smashed her doll on purpose. Leaning over me, she places her soft fingers onto my chin. Moving my face from side to side, she looks closely at my face. "This should work really well," she comments as she turns away and opens her makeup kit. "Your face shape is just like mine." "It is?" I ask as I look at myself in the mirror. "Is that good?" "Yep," she instantly replies while opening a small skin-colored jar. "It's very good. And your skin is my tone too." Sitting as still as I possibly could, Ivy gently brushes my entire face with foundation. From the looks I saw her pulling at me in the mirror, I think she was expecting me to put up more of a fight against this. The truth is, I was really enjoying the attention. Once she'd finished with the foundation, she cleaned her brush and started looking at her color palettes. "What's next?" I ask in a dour tone, trying not to seem that interested. Ivy replies as she looks deep in thought. "Well, I'm going for a more modern Alice in Wonderland look, so I'm trying to decide what colors go well with your eyes." "Alice in Wonderland?" I question. "Is that why you have that bright blue dress hanging on your door?" Ivy looks back at the dress hanging, then turns back to me and gives me a smile. "Yeah," she grins. "Can't believe you noticed that. I've got the matching blonde wig as well. You're going to be wearing both to complete the look." As those words hit my brain, I couldn't help but get excited. "Awesome!" I cheer as my mouth moves quicker than my brain can think. Instantly embarrassed, I blush and look away. She has no idea how much I enjoy all of this, and comments like that are not going to help. "Sorry?" Ivy asks as she puts a hand on her hip and glares at me. "Are you enjoying this?" Profusely shaking my head in disagreement, I started hoping the ground would swallow me up. "No way," I exclaim. "I'm only doing this because I broke your thing." Praying that she believed me, I only gave her a quick glance to see if my lie landed. Her smirking face didn't fill me with confidence. Still grinning, Ivy reaches down and starts applying makeup around my eyes. "You know," she says, concentration on my face, "sometimes I find my clothes are missing or moved. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?" A shiver runs down my spine. I did sometimes borrow her clothes, but I was always very careful to hide my tracks. No, I answer with an unconvincing crack in my voice. "Oh," she replies as she inspects her work on my eyebrows. "Is that right?" As she moves away, I feel myself starting to sweat with worry. Does she know that I like to wear her dresses? "Right," she says demandingly. "I need you to sit as still as possible for this. I'm going to do your eyeshadow and eyeliner." Bright red in the face, I give her a small nod and close my eyes. As she gently brushes at my eyelids, I could feel my body relaxing. As I held my eyes closed, I just concentrated on the feeling of having my makeup done. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. "You're an excellent model," Ivy comments as she continues brushing softly against my face. "I think we are going to have to do this more often." Not learning my lesson from earlier, my mouth betrays me once more. "I'd love that," I squeak with excitement. A shiver runs down my spine and shakes my entire body as I realize what I've just said. I instantly open my eyes to see her in the reflection of the mirror, smirking like a Cheshire cat. "Jordan," she says with delight, "do you like dressing in my girls' clothes?" With that question, I could feel all my blood rushing to my face and turning it bright red. My mouth was dry, and I desperately racked my brain for an excuse. "It's okay," she says with reassurance, placing a hand onto my shoulder. "Be honest with me. I've had my suspicions for a while now." Now terrified, I look back at her reflection in the mirror with wide eyes. "You have?" I ask nervously. Softening her stance and allowing a single shoulder to drop, she gives me a warm smile. Yeah, she answers tenderly. I saw some of those pictures on your phone. Swiftly turning in my seat to look her in the face, I felt fearful that she'd seen the pictures on my phone. What ones had she seen? What did you see? I croak. You wearing, she says, then pauses. You wearing my red dress. Oh, I stutter, trying to think of a way out of this. Ivy then lowers herself to be face to face with me. I expected her to be angry, but she had a warm smile. She looks more pleased than anything else. You look nice in it, Ivy tells me as she brings me in close for a hug. Don't worry, I haven't told anyone. It can be our secret for as long as you need it to be. Allowing her to embrace me, I felt sort of relieved. Wanting to wear my sister's clothing wasn't normal for a boy, and I'd always felt like there was something wrong with me. Now, my sister is comforting me and telling me it's okay. Thank you, Ivy, I sob as tears roll down my face. You're the best. I know, she says, pulling away and giving me a wink. Don't cry, though. You will ruin your makeup. Sure. Sorry, I answer with a long sniff. Aren't you going to post these pictures on social media, though? Everyone will see me looking like a girl. Holding both her hands on my shoulders, she looks deep into my eyes. Don't worry, she says gently. I will tell everyone that I forced you into the dress and makeup. It will be like when we were young and playing dress-up. Thanks, big sis, I say with a smile. No worries, little sis, she replies with a playful wink.